Honestly, I don't even want to talk about this episode. I just want to talk about Black Panther for like the next 2 hours. Like, there's so much to unravel. Wakanda forever.
You have, because I had 2 white guys in dashikis in my theater.
Ooh, I did not get any of that. No.
Yeah, no, we got that, and everyone literally looked at me and was like, and I was like, look, they had black girlfriends, to be fair, and I was like, you know what? They got co-signed by someone. I am not so.
You know what? That is true. Like, when someone else gets a co-sign, it's almost like if the mom says that the kid can do something and the dad says you can't. Like, you don't want to disrespect the other partner.
Yeah,
in front
exactly.
of the kid. Yeah. It's that same mindset where it's like, all right, well, if someone gave you the cosign, I'll honor that until you give me a reason not to.
Yeah. You honor the cosign.
I love that. Just like we understand what the cosign is.
You honor the cosign, and then, like you said, if they give you reason to challenge it, then you have a problem with 2 people now. Because
I also feel like the cosign, like there is colorism to the cosign. Like, the darker you are, the more your cosign means.
Yes, you're right. Sterling Brown has a stronger cosign than Drake.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I feel like Drake is just Ralph of Lil Wayne's cosign. Like, I feel like that's what's been happening.
You're not wrong. He's just on Wayne's. I like it.
Because Wayne's got cosign.
When you cosign, that responsibility comes back to you, because what's the first sentence that someone says after something like a little white?
Oh, my black friend said this was okay.
No. That's what they say. But the first thing that the other black person says is, "Come get your boy."
Yeah.
It's always like,
get your boy.
Hey, you co-signed on this. You gotta go.
And you got to deal with that look too, of just like, man, like you waste. Like, this is what you do with your cosign.
You wasted your cosign. Oh gosh, yeah, I have to admit, I'm a little bit more stingy with my cosign now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, I just feel like you gotta be. It's hard to give away a cosign in the Trump America.
You know what? I will say that. Like, I mean, I was talking about like before the Trump era, but now, you can get into fights over your cosign.
And like, the cosign means something now, because what a time to be black and alive. Like, we're having a renaissance right now. And
I know. All right, are you ready to do this?
Yeah. Let's get into this dumbass episode.
What up, bros?
What up, bros?
And welcome to Bruh Meets World.
When it's Bruh Meets World.
Just so y'all know, that was his second time. Okay. I'm Siege.
And I'm TC.
All right, TC. Takala.
Takala. You know what? That's going to be my new nickname now. Everyone call me Takala.
Yeah. God, man. Just such
For the record, guys, we don't care about this episode at all.
Oh, no,
we would really rather talk about Black Panther the entire time. Yes. We're just going to do this to fill out the episode.
The only reason why I'm not going to talk about Black Panther is because by the time this comes out, people may not have seen it, and I don't want to spoil it, because if anyone would have spoiled it for me, I would have been really, really pissed. But that being said, you could take the time that you were going to spend watching this episode.
Don't do it. Go watch Black Panther. Watch it again, the second, third time, whatever.
Oh, dude, I'm definitely seeing this more than once.
Oh, absolutely. Like this was like while I was watching it, I was like, yo, I'm seeing this again in IMAX. Like,
exactly.
I have to.
Yo, and I got that movie pass too.
Yo, son, is that worth it?
Dude, it's so worth it.
I think I need to get it. It's only $10 a month, you said, right?
It's $10 a month, and you can go, like, I've gone to, like, crazy movies. You can go once a day if you want to. I mean, you never do. I haven't gone at all this month, other than to see Black Panther, and I paid full price, because that's what you do for your community.
Yes, that's right. You invest.
Exactly. But, no, it's totally worth it. I have 2 movie dates this weekend, and I am using that movie pass.
Uh-oh. All right. Damn. Yo, you sold me on that. You sold me on that real fast.
Definitely. And like, I've already paid full price, so I don't mind going back and using the card when I go see Black Panther this time.
Yeah. I mean, I'll pay for it again. I believe in the movement.
Yeah. Did you see did you see that meme that was like Cinemark is now requiring people to not bring in, or forbidding people from bringing in large
bags, right?
And so someone made a meme that Black Panther made $250 million or however much it made in sales, but only $17 at the concession stand.
They'd be like, we need to change the rules. I snuck in through that movie. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yo, and what's even funnier is someone commented on it. It was like, who bought a Diet Coke? Because that's God. Okay. So let's get back into this, y'all.
Oh, man. All right.
We're going to do it. But again, if you haven't seen Black Panther, do it.
Begrudgingly.
I've seen Black Panther, do it again. And then if you have time, like maybe while you're watching the trailers, you can...
like just Wikipedia this if you really just want to know like the
honestly,
basics of it.
It doesn't like, not only do we not need to do this episode just could be removed completely. Absolutely nothing happens in this.
Yeah, and like I was telling Siege earlier, like this just feels like it was like a Growing Pains script or something. Like this could have been any 90s sitcom. Like there was nothing special about this that had that Boy Meets World, Michael Jacobs, Feeney taught me moment. It was just like,
yeah, okay, I don't know who wrote
whatever.
This episode, and I actually should have looked that up. But like this episode is just not Boy Meets World at its finest. It doesn't even feel like it's reflective of the first season. The first couple of episodes that we did this season.
It feels like a different show.
It does.
Like don't get me wrong. Like you get a lot of Jason Marsden. I'm not going to ever.
We're going to talk about Jason Marsden because he is A1 in this episode. He is so good.
He shines. He's the only thing that shines in this episode.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, no. I actually think Morgan and Feeney have some great moments.
Yeah, they do, but like not next to Jason. No. Like this isn't even about him, and this was Jason's episode.
Yeah, I think you're going to find that most episodes with Jason is Jason's episode. He's
I just love him so much. I mean, we're going to keep going because like. All right, so tell me about it. The tell me about it of this episode, which I already have problems with, is like when Amy and Alan go out for the evening, Mr. Feeney is unexpectedly called upon to police Corey and Eric's individual devilish schemes.
Jeez, that's long.
Yeah, it's very long. It's very long compared to what they usually write. And then also, it's another thing where it's just like I have problems with it because we use police Corey and Eric. I'm like, yo, they weren't even that bad. Like devilish schemes. This is like the most basic of basic things.
Yeah, like this is. I don't know. I mean, like
if we want to do devilish schemes, let's go back to that horse racing. You know?
Yeah. I mean, Sean just blew up a federal mailbox, and we're talking about an R-rated movie as a devilish scheme. I don't think so.
This is ridiculous. So just honestly, it starts off right from the beginning because in our opening scene, Corey and Sean are in the cafeteria, and the opening scene itself is kind of short and just kind of like gets directed.
It's straight to the point. It's like this is just setting up story. We're not even going to bother throwing jokes in this. We're just going to set up this story.
Exactly. And we learned that, the parents are going to be out. Eric's going to be on a date. They have their babysitter, Judy.
Well, let's talk about that because the boys actually plan. They're like, hey, Judy's going to be the babysitter. Let's just body shame her and fill her with self-loathing so she'll cry in the bathroom all night and we can watch this R-rated movie.
I was like, what is this? Now that is, if you want to talk about devilish schemes, let's talk about how they...
Yeah, like tearing down this girl. And like Feeney talks shit about this girl later too. And I'm like, Jesus, girl, Judy can't catch a break.
Yo, I felt so bad for Judy. And I was thinking, I mean, this was right before we had Proactive. So girl was probably just...
Yeah, I think this was even before all of those like Jennifer Love Hewitt like Clean and Clear commercials. Yeah, Clearasil. Yeah. Why were teenagers and zits such a big deal in the 90s? I feel like I never see a commercial for this anymore.
You want to know why? Because two things. One, that was when they had us eating all them Happy Meals and sugary things. So we had
you ain't wrong
because of that. These kids these days, man, they on a juice cleanse.
Yeah, they're right. They're gluten free. They're not getting any breakouts.
Exactly. So they have that good skin. They have that glow. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god.
All right. And then but they do all of that so they can watch I'm Blowing Up Your Head Part 6, Stumpy's Revenge.
Corey's like, I thought Stimpy died in the 5th one, and Sean's like, yeah, that's why he's coming back for revenge.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing. Out of there are small things in this episode that are enjoyable, and I do think that all of the little scenes with Stumpy's revenge is kind of funny. It's so corny and cheesy, but
Oh,
watch it.
I think you're giving this episode way too much credit. I think the boys are charming, don't get me wrong, but this episode is
No,
garbage.
no, no, not the boys. I said the movie, like the little sound bites from
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Like
That stuff was a little funny.
you
Yeah.
love bad movies, and I think you would watch
No,
something
I
like
mean, absolutely. At one point, I even wrote that up. I was like, "What the hell is this movie that they're watching?"
It's so terrible. Okay.
Oh
We
man.
get our theme song, which I listened to the first time, but like I had to rewatch it this episode when I was taking notes, and I did skip it once I when I was doing the second.
Oh, I mean, like I heard it, but again, I'm not. It's I go to another place. I go to a safe place. I have to. Like, and I can't wait. Like, I really hope that I'm accurate and that the theme changes in season 2. Because if I have another season of this, I'm gonna be Stumpy's revenge. I'm gonna blow my own head out.
We have like 4 more episodes. I think you could do it.
Yeah, this is you're right. Yeah, that's a great point. We're on the 5th of the last episode, so there's only 4 more after this. So
okay, and our scene after the theme song, Eric and Corey are discussing Corey's plan to watch this R-rated movie, and it's just like, again, this is like they have this whole discussion on trust, and Eric says this thing of like, don't do the crime if you can't do the time, and I'm like,
well, here's one thing we forgot to mention about Stumpy's revenge is that Corey and Sean have decided to hide it in a Barney VHS
Barney
cover, so
salutes the
that's
alphabet.
the extent of that scheme.
Yeah.
And Eric is like, oh, do you know why I'm going to get my license with Jason and his brother and not Dad? Because I've been putting money in the trust bank, and even though I get caught every now and then, it's only enough to let them know that they're still doing their job as parents.
Yep.
I still got this on lock.
Exactly. Which Corey was like, I never thought I'd say this, but I can learn from you.
Yeah. I mean, and I guess it's true. Like, Eric hasn't gotten into any major trouble since we started. Like, all of his storyline is like girl related. Yes. Yeah. So he hasn't really done anything to get in trouble yet. So yeah, I mean, obviously he's got this in the bag. He's going with Jason and Jason's brother, who we never meet ever in life. I don't know why he was thrown into that conversation.
That's a very good point. Maybe they were just like, Jason's supposed to be Eric's age, so he doesn't have a license yet either. That's the only way it probably would have worked out.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why Jason wasn't driving. I mean
exactly.
This is the license to drive situation we're in. I do want to point out that, and I don't want to jump too far ahead, but this is something that you've realized too, that when Corey gets his license down the road, it ends up being a whole episode 2. And like, we learned in that episode that Alan he was really wanting to wake up Corey in the morning and go take him to go get his driver's license and go have a big breakfast, because apparently that's what Alan did with Eric. Although from this episode, not the case.
Well, maybe he does it like the next time, like next week when Eric goes to get his license.
From like the actual, like when it goes through. I guess so. I mean, they made it seem like it happened on Eric's birthday, but I mean,
yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. But then also they kind of do this a lot too, where they make it clear that Corey is Alan's favorite, and then Eric's always like, "What about me?" And he's like, "Ugh."
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No.
Well, we also learned that Eric and Jason already have dates that involve Eric getting a license prior to him getting the license. I mean, from this moment, I was just like, oh, I just saw this movie starring the Coreys on Hulu last week. Like, I don't need to watch this again.
It's like, here's the thing. I can't even deny it, because I did have a situations with my license where I was going on a date and I got I made an illegal U-turn, and the cops came, and I didn't have my I only had my learner's permit, not my license.
Damn.
And, yeah.
Did no black man call you Negro? Like,
no.
Did you not learn?
So 2 things. 1, I got a white woman. 2.
All right.
We've talked about this. I was very fortunate, I guess, the way I presented him. I don't know. But the cop, I was like, look, I cannot leave this car here. This is my mom's car. It is the only car.
You even having the goal to just even ask for that, like, I don't even understand that at all. Like, you, like, with the moment you said, like, hey, I was a young black man, I got pulled over and I didn't have my license for whatever reason, I was like, oh my God, where's the story going? Did he get beat up? What happened?
They just know. She gave me an escort back to my apartment.
Wow. All right. Well, small town police.
No. I mean, like, again, I'm looking back at it. I was like, that could have gone in several different ways, especially with tensions now. But
yeah, I mean, thank God you weren't wearing a hoodie. I assume. Like,
you know what it was? It was the hoodie. It was the hoodie, and I had given up sweets, so I didn't have any Skittles. So that was
that's that. Apparently, I mean, you weren't looking for loose cigarettes or trying to get a mixtape out there either. So,
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Your boxes are checked.
That's so sad. Oh God, it's so sad.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I don't even sneeze around cops. I don't know what's going to set them off.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're not wrong. Especially now, I don't even know what to do. This is totally a side thing, but like, I honestly was like, if I got pulled over tomorrow, I have no idea how to react.
And you know what? I do have to say, it is very comforting because all my life I've felt this, but I never knew that this was something that we all felt. That whenever I'm driving and I see a cop car, it might as well be like me in the ocean seeing like a shark's fin. Like it's the same feeling of fear I get.
Well, so what's sad? Well, not sad. I guess it's just real. Is like I never felt this way up until a few years ago. I never.
So was it all of the footage coming out that changed your mind on it?
No, it was I told you the story about the cop who handcuffed me for no reason. That did it once, and then honestly, I think last year or the year before, with like Philando Castile and.
Philando Castile is the craziest.
Yeah, like there's just so many things that happen. And I was just like, all right, so just being outside near a cop as a black,
doing anything or nothing, like, it doesn't matter.
Heavy outside your nose, and now all of a sudden you're in handcuffs. So yeah, honestly, I don't know what to do anymore. Like if I were to get pulled over, my initial reaction is to film everything. Like just take my phone out immediately, go live stream to my mom, and wait and see what happens.
All right, what would you rather do? Would you rather get pulled over by a cop, or would you rather go to a high school in a concealed carry?
Damn, that is hard. All right, so anyway,
no, okay, so we're back in the house, and Jason is introduced, and this is the first time we see Jason like talking to the parents and stuff.
Yeah. So what happens is Corey is actually doing his homework, and the parents are getting ready, and Allie and Amy, we find out about this real estate event that they're going to. Corey's kind of funny in this scene
because Amy has a job, unless you guys forgot. I understand why you would have forgotten, but Amy does work.
Well, also with this, I have to say, Alan's complaining about being bored at a real estate convention or event or whatever.
He never does anything for her.
I'm like, yo, not only that, but you work at a grocery store. Ain't nobody telling jokes over there. So
yeah. and what was it later on in the episode? She says something to the effect of oh, I'm always the one who has to drive all the kids around because you're basically no help at all.
Yeah, and that's what she says. And he's like,
yo, Al, do something for this. Go make her feel special on this night. Do something.
Yo, I mean, not even gonna lie, her name is Boo Boom. That means she's doing all the work.
Yes, it is.
Amy puts in the time.
She's a lady in the streets and the freak in the bed,
I love it. Get you an Amy. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I was going to say, I grew up thinking Topanga was Bae, but I'm starting to switch my mind to Amy.
Yo, get you an Amy. I'm gonna hashtag that. Hashtag get you an Amy. But anyway. So, while this is happening, that was one scene. It was really quick, in and out. Corey was funny. We learn about the family. Next scene is when Jason comes in and he's like, Eric is the only guy he knows who failed his driver's test before it even began. Which I have to admit, it's just the
whole story of how Eric fails this test is just as stupid as it is unbelievable.
Yeah, well, it is. But then also, I was like, it's not like the people who do the test are always in police uniforms or anything. So yeah,
Jason does say that. He's police are the ones who give the test, not some guy holding a beer, which
I was like, no, it could straight
Apparently,
up be a guy holding a beer. I wouldn't know any
right.
difference.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows what kind of tricks they're trying to throw at you on the DMV? You don't know. Someone could just be like, "Hey, I've been drinking. Do you want to hold this beer?" No. Oh, pass the test. You don't know.
I like it. The phone rings and Jason, like, it's Tracy, it's their dates for the night, and Jason just kills this. He's so
Oh,
good.
the moment he answers the phone, he's giving me like Max talking to Roxanne vibes.
Well, yo, like, look at his face even when the phone rings. He is acting.
He's like, and he's so much swagger. He's like, "Hey, baby."
Yo,
like,
yo,
I
yo,
can't
yo,
even
yo.
do it the way he does it.
Wait,
He's
I want
great.
because I wrote it down. And if you want, we could play it. But I just like how he says it. He's like, "Oh, you bought a new dress. Oh, you hope it's not too short." Well, sweetheart, life can be too short, but dresses. I was just like, yo, I have
So
such a
damn
crush on him.
smooth.
I am so like into this dude because he is just like, he may be short and tiny, but he is suave.
He's so suave, and he kind of he talks the way that like cool Urkel talks. You know, Stefan. Like that's how Jason just talks to women, and I don't know where he gets this confidence
It's
from.
just
But yo,
swagger. It's swagger, baby.
he's rocking it.
Swagger. Yo, I even like it. So I mean, because he goes back and like is kind of macking on Amy a little bit because he knows to get you an Amy, but
Well, he kind of like flirts with Amy the way that like the slimy best friend always tries to suck up to the parents to make themselves look good, even though all the parents know they're a bad influence. Like that's what he's doing because he's definitely the Sean to Eric's Corey in this episode.
Yeah, well, he is a terrible influence.
100. In this episode, he basically tells Eric to commit a crime. I mean,
exactly.
Everything that bad that happens to Eric is because he lives to Jason.
Yeah, especially this episode. It's really funny because after they've convinced the girls that they're gonna pick them up, despite not having a license, Eric's like, "Yo, I have to." Well, first of all, Eric's like, "I can't do that," and Jason's like, "Of course not."
I feel awful lying to my parents. I can't do this.
Yeah, exactly. And he goes, "You should definitely tell them, and tomorrow is the day to do it."
well, he even says something to the effect of like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And Jason's like, all right, do you got that out of your system? And Eric's like, yeah, let's go do this.
Yeah, exactly. That's a little bit later, but you're right. Anyway, this is when he growls at Amy, and Jason's just like, too young to be a mom, too pretty to be in real estate.
He knows what's up.
Exactly. I'm just gonna put this out there. I feel like Jason is the kind of dude who's like now banging all the neighborhood moms. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was the kind of like sexy that like people didn't like how Ducky is sexy and pretty and pink, but like just like no one quite understood what to do with it at the time.
Yeah, I was saying like he's unassuming. Like he's one of those people where it's like most people.
Oh, you're trying to say that like I was trying to say that he wasn't appreciated, but you're trying to say that like no, he is just on the low charming.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I was saying that like now I feel like right now Jason's character, if it's like a character in this TV show, is boning all the moms in his neighborhood. That's all.
I totally buy that for his character based on like the 2 episodes I've seen him in.
Exactly. Anyway, so
because he is just as like obsessed with chasing skirts as Eric is for whatever reason. Both of them are just
this is all they know how to write for. Apparently, all they know how to write for is it's teenage boys.
Yeah, I you know what? I'm excited for them to get to dumb Eric because this dating Eric is just like boring.
Yeah, I agree. It's not. It's like it's one note.
It's one girl after the other. Like I don't even care anymore. Like what his love life does. I'm just like whatever.
Exactly.
There'll be another one the next episode.
So anyway, what they do is Alan's like, look, thank you for. I'm happy for you passing your driver's test. Here are the keys to the car. Enjoy yourself tonight.
Did you not think it was odd that Alan didn't ask to see Eric's driver's license?
That's a good point. I didn't think about it, but that's a very
because the first thing I did when I got my license is people wanted to see it. They wanted to see my picture and I
actually I didn't think about it. And if anything, I would say that they were too busy getting dressed. But no,
I would say this is partly Alan's fault for not checking Eric's license before he gave him the car.
That's a very good
This
point.
falls on
That's a
Alan
good point.
entirely.
I'm not even going to argue with you. The only stipulation for him before he goes out is he has to wait until Judy comes before he leaves. Then all of a sudden Judy calls and says that she's not coming, so they got to find an alternative babysitter. And I was kind of wondering what they would do.
Judy couldn't come because of a face emergency. They've been giving this girl so much crap because of her acne.
A skin condition. And even like, so later on, because what they do is they decide to like go to Feeney and ask.
Well, they're like, hey, we need another babysitter and we need one in 10 minutes. And then they look over and they see Feeney. And what I actually thought when I was watching this, I was just like, well, Feeney's at his in his garden at the fence, and Eric approaches him, and I was like, man, I really hope I hear a Feeney call right now. And I just didn't. And it was so unsatisfying.
We're way too early for a Feeney call.
But still, I was just like, man, that's a prime moment for like even like the early beginnings of a Feeney call.
Yeah, that would have been a good Feeney call.
Super regular.
Yeah, that would have been a good Feeney call. So Feeney, decides to babysit, which leads us to our next scene.
Well, he decides to babysit after Eric decides to lay manure in Feeney's yard for 4 weeks. 2 weeks. Feeney, 5 weeks. Eric, sold.
Look, you trying to get through this episode or not?
I'm sorry. I just, as we're talking about it, I'm remembering all the dumb little.
No, you're right. That was really funny. And I even made note. So I was like, I assumed like you would like call that one out. But at the exact same time, I was like, yo, I'm trying to get through this. But
yeah, you're right. Yeah, this episode ain't shit. I don't know why we're trying to make something out of it.
All right, so Morgan's like being cute and having a little tea party, and I also think this is very funny because of the fact that Feeney, to me, he's like trying to negotiate with Morgan and stuff. But
whoa, you're glossing over the bigger thing that you're forgetting to. For the people who won't watch this, and we hope that you won't, Feeney is dressed in full costume jewelry. Earrings, like Madonna level necklaces, like stacked on top of each other.
Exactly. And the earrings, and then
Morgan is like, pouting about him not wearing a hat.
Yeah, exactly.
He is really upset over it.
But my whole thing was like Feeney is like trying to reason with her, and she just plays like the cute little girl card, and it just makes me think that Feeney. Well, it's a fake cry, and Feeney knows a fake. But he calls Corey out on it all the time. But I just think he's not used to dealing with this young of children. Like he's used to like Corey's age and above.
You know what? I don't really know about what they're trying to set up there. I thought they were very cute together. I also love that Morgan does her typical thing where she knows the power that she has in any relationship, and she uses like her, little girl powers to get what she wants. So I always think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
But as I'm watching it, I'm like, this ain't shit. This has nothing to do with the story. I don't really care.
Well, this whole scene doesn't kind of doesn't even make sense because Corey and Sean are watching TV literally maybe 5 feet away.
This drove me up the damn wall. I couldn't believe that they were doing this. You
could have put Feeney and Morgan in the kitchen and the boys in the other room, and it would have made way more sense.
So what we're talking about is, all right, so Sean and have this plan to watch this R-rated movie, Stumpy's Revenge. I Blew Up Your Head 6, I believe it is. And so their plan is like, oh, we're going to watch it, and every time Feeney comes by, we're going to flip to a nature documentary. Feeney and Morgan are in the same room. They're in the living room, like right next to the couch. Yes. When the boys are watching this R-rated movie. No way Feeney is that dumb.
Exactly.
No way.
It's not even that he's that dumb. It's like, no one's that deaf. It's just like,
Corey has a TV in his room. Yes. What are they even doing?
That's what I was saying. Oh my God. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense.
And it just drove me crazy. I was just like, oh, this is so lazy. This is such lazy writing.
They needed an episode. They were like, look, we got to do one more.
It felt like they turned this out in like 5, because they didn't even who would buy this?
Exactly. There was no, this was somebody's practice episode.
I actually got mad when I saw that. I was like, man, this is just bad. This is not good
Exactly.
at all.
So, just to let you guys know, in the show, Corey and Sean are watching it. They're switching back between this caribou nature documentary and the movie, which is important just because the caribou part is they keep coming back to.
It is really interesting how they have this dynamic where the boys are watching a nature documentary and getting grossed out, but watching a horror movie and being like, "Oh, that's cool," even though like the grossness levels are similar. I would imagine. That was just a cool little like. I don't know what they were trying to say with that, but it seemed like they were trying to say something.
Yeah, no. I don't know if they were trying to say anything, but I do like those parallels. Like,
Yeah.
again, if they had even pointed that out, that would have been better.
Made this episode something worth talking about.
But they just don't. I mean, we'll get there eventually. But anyway, while they're doing this, I just want to see some of the quotes from that movie. Again, it's just like
it's great.
Okay, college girl in the shower. It's just like they're just like it's describing it, and you could again. Not only is it violence, but it's violence all towards women. Like the next scene we hear is, "All right, buxom night nurse," and she's like, "Not the crossbow," and it's just like all of it is just like violence towards women. It's crazy.
It's great too because like, all right, this stupid ass movie. All right, it's a Jason type character, obviously named Stumpy, who's just blowing up seemingly naked women's heads.
Yeah.
With Feeny in the same room, mind you.
Yeah.
He's not even facing the door. He's facing the TV where I can't.
Yeah.
So they're watching this. The boys are on the edge of their seat watching. They can't get enough of Stumpy blowing up these heads.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, I would watch this movie. I mean, like, it just seems so terribly done.
It seems better than watching this episode.
It seems like a sci-fi movie.
If we had the choice, I would have preferred to watch Stumpy's Revenge. A full 90 minutes movie I would prefer than this.
Okay, so also this is a complete side note as well. But have you ever seen you've seen Big Mouth, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in Big Mouth, there's that video game, Vatican Hooker Killer or something like that.
Yes,
and it just reminded me of this. It's like you gotta get her soul. You gotta get her soul. It's it's so crazy.
Yeah, I mean this. Yeah. Well, it's okay. Well, let's talk about this because it does lead into the next scene. The boys are there and they're like, "Oh, we're having a great time watching this R-rated movie." And Sean's like, "I wonder what Eric's doing." And then Corey's like, "Oh, Eric, he's like the king of having fun or whatever." And
yeah, exactly. Well, he goes, I wonder if Eric's having a good time. And Corey's like, of course he's having a fun. This is what he's best at. And the very next card flip, of course, is Eric begging for the car from an impound lot. And so there was a few things about this that I thought of. One, it's kind of your fault because everything was telling you not to go. Not only did you not get your license, but then Judy called and was like, "I can't come." So everything was saying, don't do it. And you did it.
That is a good point. Like there was nothing that was like he should have called it quits after like the license thing. But you're right. He had time after time. He had life gave him the opportunity to not make this choice, and he was like, "Fuck it, I'm going."
Yeah, exactly. So after the commercial, because we got a little commercial break, we come back and the girls.
We're introduced to the girls.
Yeah,
the same girls that were the shitty girls from the model behavior episode where they were at the mall. The same exact girls.
Oh God,
because Kelly Packard is in there again, and I was like, "Yo."
Terrible girls.
They're awful. They're the worst. Like, and the first thing I wrote was I was like, "Oh, they're just like either really bad at writing women, or these women are just meant to be the worst piece of crap people in the world."
They're just made to be the worst people because we know they can write women. They are doing a killer job with Amy, and Topanga is awesome. But like,
yeah, they're like as Eric is negotiating, Kelly Packard's on the phone and she's like, "Oh, I have a junior with a Camaro."
Yo, she doesn't even say his name. Like, it's not even like Joey.
It doesn't matter.
Is on his way.
He's a junior and it's a Camaro, and it's like, well, first of all, where does Junior get this Camaro? I need to hang out with this kid. Secondly, why are they on the date with Eric, and like it doesn't seem like they care who they date.
They don't. That's kind of like what they allude to, is that these girls don't care at all. And it is kind of like I mean, they're bitches. These are bitches.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, go into this next part of the scene because their bitchness really is highlighted, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, because what happens is Eric very rightfully calls them out. He's like, yo, you guys are shallow, and you know what? You only use people, and I don't need you. We don't need you. And that's when the girls go. First of all, they do something. I was like, if you knew you could do this, why didn't you do it earlier?
Yeah.
And
they're like, oh, we're just gonna throw pussy at this guy until he decides to give you the car back.
All right,
and
so wait. Just so like we're clear, the guy is at the impound lot. There's this big hulk of a dude, and he's the one who's giving Eric a hard time. Basically,
you know who he reminds me of? Remember when Carlton got arrested and that guy in the prison was singing "Let My People Go"?
Exactly.
Like that's what this guy reminds me of.
That's kind of what he looks like, just with a mullet. And the guy, I mean, he's doing his job, to be fair. He's like, I need an address to match on a driver's license to match the one on the registration, and then I can give you the car. But we know that Eric doesn't have that because he doesn't have a license. So that's why we're in this situation in the first place. So as you were saying,
they're trying to convince this guy, I guess, that Eric left his license at home.
Exactly.
But
and the girls, like, what they do is they, as you said, they throw pussy at him. I was like, yo, these are teenage girls, and this is a grown ass man.
And he's eating it up.
And it's just like I hate things that do that. I hate shows that like show teenagers using their sexuality towards adults. Like, I don't mind if you have a teenager rubbing up against another teenager, because that's teenagers. But like, whenever you have like a teenage girl flirting with an older dude in a TV show,
I just don't feel like they even know what they're doing. Like,
yeah, it's weird and creepy. I never like it. But anyway, this dude's name is Tony with a Y. And
because there's so many Tonys with an I out
exactly.
there.
And the girls kind of flirt with him, and he gives them what they need to get the car out of the impound lot. But then,
real fast, he's just like, oh, just let me, you only need the one car. And they even say something to the effect of like, oh yeah, we have to go, you know, we don't want, our parents will be so worried if we get home late, but we'll come back and see you, Tony with a Y.
Exactly.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Our parents would be so upset if we miss curfew. How are you going to tease someone by proving that you're underage? Like, it's just like, it's so weird.
Ooh, creepo. Do not like it.
Yeah. But then after the girls get it, this is when their bitchiness really comes out. The girl's like, oh, but you said you didn't need us. And she rips the paper up right in front of them. And I was like, so y'all didn't even have to do that. Like, there was no reason to do all that.
I saw that and I went like, oh, if he just needs to show this paper to someone, why can't he just like be like, hey, the paper ripped by accident? Like, why couldn't he still use it?
Because that's logic, and we ain't going.
Yeah, that's that. We don't want to introduce logic until this bonkers episode.
Exactly. So anyway, the girls leave to go with the junior, and as soon as they leave, Feeney shows up, and
almost right away.
Yeah, almost. It's like in and out. And Feeney tries to help get the car back. I'm just rushing through this because it's really not important. Feeney tries to get the car back, but Tony with a Y is like, no license, no car. Feeney
also makes fun of Feeney for wearing earrings.
That is true. There's a little homophobia in there, but we ain't gonna go down that road. And Feeney says that he'll go get Eric's ID, but then that's when Sean realizes that Eric doesn't have an ID.
this whole thing of just like the entire time I'm like, yeah, he doesn't have a license. Like, it's so obvious he doesn't have a license. Why else would Feeney even be down there? If I don't know. Even when the parents were gonna finally confront, I was like, I don't even care. Like, this is such small potatoes compared to blowing up a federal mailbox. You can't show us that and then show us this itty bitty thing and have us care this much about it. It just doesn't work.
No, I agree. That's what my whole complaint was. I was like, this episode does not make sense.
Maybe space it out between the Jerry Bomb episode. Like, space it out, and then maybe I'd care more. But coming right back from that,
yeah, back to back, it just didn't make sense. And you know what? We also have just Wakanda greatness on our shoulders.
Yeah, like we've just been exposed to actual art. So like putting up chewing this bullshit does not taste good at all.
No. All right, so anyway, just to kind of move the story along again, and I want to assure you guys, we're not skipping anything. It's just like, honestly, this is all that there is.
This is this basic of an episode. There's not even like, I guess the B story is the boys watching the thing. The C story would be Alan and Amy, but we don't ever see them outside of the house, them being parents. Like, what's that about?
In this next scene, back at the Matthews place, Feeney sends Morgan to bed and Eric to his room. And Eric, I had to admit, Eric got on my nerves at this point because Eric tries to retort when Feeney says, go to your room. He's like, just because you were my 6th grade teacher doesn't mean you can tell me what to do. And I was like, bitch, after I just went down to the
I just brought you home. Like, I just did you a favor. I'm babysitting without getting paid, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, are you kidding me? Again, this is where we like, Negro.
Yeah, that's where you throw in a Negro. That's when one is deserved.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, Eric goes up to his room because Feeney like gets mad serious, and that's when Feeney catches Corey and Sean watching Stumpy's revenge.
This drove me crazy too, because at least in the other scene, the boys had the good sense to change the channel whenever they felt Feeney's full on watching it next to them, and they don't even care.
Exactly. It's just lazily done. It's just lazily done.
Oh my God. Like, just drove me crazy. Like, the logic, I was just like, this is.
And then they do like this faux looking for the remote thing, and like that doesn't work. So eventually
they just got home, by the way. They immediately turned that movie back on. They've been home for 2 minutes. They turned the movie on and then like, oh, Feeney's in the room. Is that a problem? No, it wasn't a problem earlier.
Yeah, and it's just they get caught. Feeney, of course, takes the video. I have to say, he takes the video, the cassette tape, mind you, out of the VCR. Those words haven't been said in quite some time. But he takes the cassette tape out of the VCR and he ruins the tape, which is also something that used to happen.
For those who don't know, VHS is like a black box, a little black box that had rolled up film in it. And if you exposed the film to light, it would ruin the film. Expose the film to light. And I just thought that was worth explaining because a lot of people don't know what VHSs are anymore.
Yeah, no, honestly, trying to describe a VHS tape, even like a CD-ROM, I was like, oh, everything streams. How do you explain to someone that you used to have like a box tape?
Yo, you know what I actually thought was pretty badass? Like floppy disk. I always thought floppy disks were really cool.
You thought floppy disks? No one thought floppy disks were cool. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. To me, they just seemed like such like movie computers. You know what I mean? Like when I watch like Jurassic Park. Yeah, or Blank Check or whatever. Like they always had like a cool floppy disk that like made shit go like.
Yeah, you're right. The floppy disk used to be like the floppy disk is what now the USB was. You know what I mean? Like,
well, but that was before you even understood. Like, as a kid in the 90s, and computers are just like, I didn't really even understood what computers did at that point. But I just knew whenever you put a floppy disk in, like, that handled shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like the floppy disk was what the USB is, because like in movies now, if they're downloading some code or if they're like doing some things, you have that little USB that you plug in. It's really small, and like the whole movie is now saved because you had it. And that's what the floppy disk was. You used to have to put it in, and like in the 90s, they'd have you type in like 2 or 3 words because that's all you could see on screen, and the day was saved. Or
it was like a cool program, or like new sounds for like an old keyboard. Like it could have been anything. R.I.P. the floppy disk.
R.I.P. Pour one out.
Pour one out, yeah.
Okay, so Corey, of course, finds out it's rated R. Not Corey. Feeney finds out it's rated R. He he has like a little.
He's witnessed a woman's head get explode. Yeah,
he did, and he calls it trash, which it is. There's no denying it. And then so the boys are kind of in trouble. So anyway, the next scene, the Matthews come home and they notice that Feeney's here, and Amy's like, "Feeney, you're not supposed to be here. What's going on?" And he explains that I was babysitting your kids. I'm filling in for you, and you got badass kids. You got baby's kids.
Let's talk about this real fast, because 1, they for sure have Bebe's kids. 2, we need to watch Bebe's kids. It's been too long. Wow, dude, thanks for that.
No, dude.
They don't die, they multiply.
Have you seen Bebe's kids?
It's been a minute.
Terrible movie. absolutely. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it's still fun
Oh,
because it's
I'm not
Veggies kid.
surprised at all that movie doesn't age well. I think that's partly why I want to watch it.
It is so ghetto.
So where do we even begin with this? Because at no point does Alan or Amy, they're like, "Oh, George, thank you."
Thank you. Thank you. I was waiting for you to talk because I wanted to get into the fact that, like, even later on, Feeney's like, no tip, no. I mean, yes, I watched your kids. These are your babies.
But at the same time, where's that point where Feeney's like, "Hey, I tried to call you guys to let you know what was going on."
Yeah, that's a good point too. I mean, like, to be fair, they didn't have cell phones.
They're chastising Corey and Eric about being irresponsible, but I feel like every adult in this episode was irresponsible at some point, whether it was Alan giving the keys to Eric without, figuring out if he had a license or not. Feeney not contacting the parents not thanking Feeney. Like, there was just so much, like, I don't know, like, I didn't care about anybody in this episode other than Jason.
Yeah, and Jason is like the one for this episode. I will say that I'm a little bit more lenient because we live in a time where phones are easy, and I do remember, like, I don't know if we've ever seen a answering machine in the Matthews place yet. So I feel like the idea of, like, not being able to get in contact with them.
You think they were going to leave the kids with a babysitter and not leave a number? No,
that's a very good point. I mean, the not leaving number is a very good point. But who knows? But also, I don't know. I think I'm just giving Feeney the benefit of the doubt because I think that he knew he was covering for Eric. So, like, they would have asked questions and all this other stuff.
You're giving this episode the benefit of the doubt. They didn't think about any of this. I
also think your critique was a little overthinking it. But you're right. Let's just move forward. Anyway, they come. They're ungrateful. And then, so, like, they are all on Corey. And my problem with this scene, for those who haven't watched it, is Alan and Amy are really down on Corey for watching this trash R-rated movie. And my whole thing is they really do treat this on the same level as Eric's thing. And they are not the same level.
Not at all. They're all over the place with punishments. Like,
they even get the same punishment.
Yeah, no way is that the same punishment.
Yeah, 2 weeks of being grounded. Why? Because I watched an R-rated movie, but my brother drove without a license and then got the car impounded.
Well, I will say that Eric's punishment is extended beyond the 2 weeks.
That is a very good point. Yeah. But he was going to have that punishment anyway. And what we're talking about with punishment is that what at first happens is Alan, when he hears about Eric getting the car impounded and not having his license, he's like upset, and he's like, "You're going to get your license so I can take it away from you because you're not going to drive ever again." And while he's yelling, Amy's like, "Yo, hold on. Let's talk for a moment." And I like this because, again, they show how great Amy is, because Alan goes, "Are you undermining my authority?" And she responds, "Would I do that in front of the children?" And I was like, yes, good for you, Amy. Because she's like, "No, I'm not calling you out, but we gonna talk."
Yeah, like, Amy is the smarter of the two. And like every time that, like, it comes time to make a parenting decision, she's the one who really comes up with the better ideas.
Yeah, and then also, so what happens with her is she points out that Alan's, like, trying to take away Eric's license, but she is the one who needs Eric to have a license.
Yeah, because she's like, "Yo, Alan, you don't do shit. I'm constantly the one having to drive these kids around. I'm sick of it. This guy needs a license so I can be left the hell alone."
Yep, that's basically what she says. And, and she makes a very valid point. So because of that, they go back up to the boys who are in their room, and they both are just like, again, it doesn't make sense, but they're like, "This is the worst thing. We're going to be killed." And last week we saw Sean do something ridiculously crazy.
4 weeks grounding for blowing up a federal mailbox. These boys get 2 weeks grounding for watching an R-rated movie. I don't buy that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It makes no sense. But anyway, the whole punishment for Eric is that he, for the next however long, is going to get his license, and then he is responsible for being the family chauffeur. And then Corey has to watch the Caribou documentary going forward, which I was like, how long is this documentary?
Yeah, and are there better things he can learn about? Because it seems like he doesn't have a firm grasp on basic stuff.
Yeah, we totally forgot this because we were just kind of rushing through. But there's a scene where the parents come home and Corey's like, "Yeah, Feeney broke my tape," and everyone's like, "What? Why'd you even say that?" Like, way to bring it up. They knew nothing.
Yeah, why
about
are you
it.
trying to bring attention to the thing you're in trouble for? Like, whenever I got in trouble, like I would just be quiet and I would hope my parents would forget about it. Like that's
Well,
just
every parent does that, and I just remember my mom always being like, "Why are you so quiet?" "Oh, thank you for reminding me." You know, it was just like,
yeah.
She's like, "Because I had forgot, but you were too good."
Yeah.
All right, so that's that. I kid you not, everyone. That is the episode.
That's the episode. Yeah.
That's the episode.
The episode, like, there's the epilogue is just like Amy, like, oh, do I want to, read my book or do I want to take a bath? While Eric is like being jumped by Morgan and Corey, like, you got to take me here, you got to take me there, you got to, and that's just the episode just sort of ends, and
Yep.
it's just.
I mean, my only note on the epilogue was that in this particular scene, Amy actually does look and sound like Morgan. So it's like you could see where Morgan gets it from.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, so all right, let's just last two segments. Feeney Tommy, what did you learn?
I didn't learn a damn thing. I don't think the kids did either.
Damn thing. I don't think anybody learned anything. We learned that this episode was trash.
Every lesson that the kids learn has been learned in some extent in another episode already.
Yeah, exactly. So sorry, you guys. Feeney taught me, if anything, to get it in writing because these people don't know how to appreciate neighborly goodness.
I mean, like, I guess, like, honestly, like, the true lesson is, like, don't drive without a license and don't watch R-rated movies. Like, I honestly don't know what a lesson would be outside of that.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not even, or maybe don't try to scheme your parents, because they do talk about, like, they're like, oh, like, our schemes were so bad and my scheme versus your schemes. It's very scheme heavy, this episode.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the Feeney Tommy, and then grades. What grade did you give this?
Giving this episode an F, bro.
Oh, you're giving it a straight up F.
I'm giving it a straight up F. I'm sorry. The last episode was too good to throw this on us. Like, ease us back into some crap. I'm giving this episode an F, straight up. It's a
Buzzkill didn't get an F.
Nothing about this episode is significant. It doesn't even feel like a Boy Meets World episode. Every character has a little less charm than they've had in every other one. Nope.
I mean, here's the thing. You know what? I'm gonna stick with my grade, which was a D, but I gave it a D because of Jason. Jason is like good enough to like get it that extra credit points that
Jason is great, but at the same time, I wouldn't be like, oh, you should watch this episode specifically because Jason.
Oh, no,
Jason's
not at all.
Good in good episodes. There's no reason for anyone to watch this.
No, but I'm just saying that if they take out Jason in this episode and there's really no reason.
Yeah, then that's just an unwatchable. Like, that's just like a straight up. I mean, I don't know if there's. I guess F is pretty intense, but I don't know, man. This episode made me mad.
Yeah, no. All right, you guys. So tell us your thoughts. A lot of you have been reaching out. We really appreciate it. Thank you for listening to us this long. We only have 4 more episodes of this season. Then we're going to do a season cap episode. And
Super excited to end the season, guys. There's just so much to discuss, so much on the horizon.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Thank you guys again for listening to Boy Meets World. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
Comment.
Yeah, Instagram. A lot of you have been reaching out through Instagram. I appreciate it. And again, that's all at Bruh Meets World. Or email us at bruhmeetsworld@gmail. You can find me on Twitter at Extra Siege. That's XTRACEEJ. Where you at, T?
Wakanda. You can find me in the nation of Wakanda.
Yo, I actually kid you not. Right now, I'm looking at this this meme that's like, get ready, because in 10 years, y'all gonna have a Wakandria.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
And
The actual promised land. Wakanda.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where you'll find me.
You are going to get all those names in your classroom in like 5 years. Okay, so sorry. Thank you again for listening to us. Remember to dream, try, and do good.
Do great, guys. Do wonderfully.
Do Black Panther at the box office good.
That's right. Do us right. Do us right. That's what you need to do. Dream, try, and then do us right.
All right, later, bros.
Later, bruh.